Welcome to Flow. Let's get started. Today we'll start off in a kneeling position. Bring your hands to rest on your thighs. Maybe allow your eyes to close. Just take a moment here to connect with your breath. Start to feel the movement of your breath into your rib cage, into your heart space, and down into your belly. Pull your shoulders back. Feel the length through the back of your neck all the way out of the crown of your head. And start to blink your eyes open. Slip your right hand underneath your right thigh. We're coming into a little neck stretch here. With your right hand underneath your right thigh, tip your left ear over toward your left shoulder. And you can stay still in this stretch. You can find a little bit of movement if you'd like. Just feeling a little more length into that right side neck. And just breathe here. And then slowly release. Bring your head back to center. Release your hand and switch. So now your left hand's going to slide underneath your left thigh and start to tip your right ear over to your right shoulder. You can feel that length all along the left side of your neck. You can stay still in this stretch. You can find a little bit of movement through your head just to target different areas of your neck and your shoulder. Make sure that you're still connected to that breath that you found just a few moments ago. And then slowly release your hand and bring yourself to a tabletop position. In your tabletop position, right away start to move into a few sets of cat and cow. Just starting to find a little more fluidity through your spine. Spread your fingers nice and wide. On your inhale, arch your spine, lift your chin and your gaze. And on your exhale, find a nice deep contraction. Pull your chin to your chest. And just continue to move through these two postures, starting to match breath to movement. Bring yourself back to a neutral tabletop and now crawl your fingertips over to the right diagonal and take 3 cat and cows from here. So this may feel a little bit different, especially into your left side back. So on your inhale, arch the spine, lift the chin, and on your exhale, press into the ground, contract, pull your chin to your chest. And we'll take one more like that. Inhale, lift the heart, and exhale, cat spine. Bring yourself back to neutral spine and start to crawl your hands now over to the left side, the left corner of your mat. And again, we'll take 3 cat-cows here, kind of diagonal cat-cows. You're going to feel this a little bit differently through your right side back. But we're still feeling that sensation of matching breath to movement. And after your 3rd round, bring yourself back to your neutral tabletop position. Crawl your hands back. Flip your toes under to hover your knees off the mat, and then lift your right leg up into the air like you're trying to press the bottom of your right foot up to the ceiling. And now pull your right knee to your chest, dome through the upper back. And we're going to take this 4 more times. So it's kind of a variation of a cat and cow, but now we're getting a little more activation into the core. You also might start to feel a little bit of activation into your bottom left quad as well. And then after your 5th go around here, find a 3-legged dog. Extend your right leg all the way up into the air. Try to straighten your bottom left leg and adjust your hands and your bottom foot if you need to. Bend your top knee, open your hip, and take a moment just to open through the front of your hips here. You could roll out your top ankle if that feels good. And now take your right foot and step it so it comes outside of your right hand. So you're in kind of a wider, low lunge. Take a few moments here. You can kind of rock back and forth if that feels good. And now take your right hand and stretch it out long in front of you like you're trying to shake someone's hand. Take your right arm all the way up to the ceiling and then keep the right arm going back to the back of your space. Nice, juicy half circle. We're going to take that 4 more times. So break through your elbow as you reach forward, reach all the way up, stretch all the way back, and take it again. And this is a nice little stretch getting into your shoulder girdle a little more here, but also feeling a nice stretch into the hips and into the right hamstring. Staying in your low lunge. When you reach forward, really let your hips and your body go with it. Find that nice full half circle. After your last time, bring your right hand down to the mat, step your right foot back into a high plank. Pause and breathe here, just for a moment, and then lower your knees down to the ground. Keep your toes flipped under. Float your knees. We're going to take everything on the second side. So with your left leg, lift your left leg up into the air. Bend your left knee, flex your left foot. And now pull your left knee to your nose. And we repeat this 5 times. So a lot of stuff is working for you here. Your shoulders are working, with your palms pressing into the mat. Your core is working. Your bottom right thigh is working. Try to match your breath to movement. And then after your last one, find your 3-legged dog. Stretch your left leg all the way up into the air. And you can take a few moments here. You can bend your top knee and open the hip. Maybe you roll out through your ankle. Any small or big movements that might feel good here. Keep pressing down evenly through your hands. And then take your left foot and step it outside of your left hand. So you're in kind of this wider low lunge. And take a few moments here. You can kind of rock back and forth. Just let your body get accustomed to this lunge. We're going to start to move in that half circle with the left arm. So stretch your left fingertips way out in front of you. Reach all the way up and reach all the way back. We're going to take that 4 more times. Maybe moving just a little bit quicker. Finding nice fluid movement. But add a little bit of resistance here, almost like you're moving through water. Feel the stretch and the energy pulling out of your fingertips. You're really reaching in all directions, up and around. Let your body and your hips move a little bit with it as well. After your final circle, bring your left hand back down to the mat and step your left foot back. We're back in a high plank position. And from your high plank, press your hips up and find downward facing dog. Take a few moments for breath in downward facing dog. Spread your fingers nice and wide. And then start to walk your feet up towards your fingers. So you're in a ragdoll forward fold. Bend through your knees. And you can take a very gentle sway of your body from side to side. And then slowly roll yourself up to stand. Think of stacking through the vertebrae. Your shoulders, your chin, and your gaze will be the last thing to arrive. Once you're there, reach your arms up, send your hips back, and find a chair pose. So your feet will be about hips width distance apart. Bring your hands down onto the outside of your thighs. And then start to contract like a cat spine. Pull your chin to your chest. Press that space between your shoulder blades up towards the ceiling. And now we do the opposite. Press into the tops of your thighs. Arch through your spine. And we're going to take this 5 times total. So moving into more of an upright cat and cow. It's a little more active because we're standing up and trying to maintain a squat this entire time. Use the strength of your arms in each direction to find a little more range of motion through your spine. Keep that nice deep bend of your knees. Find a lot of fluidity here. Working into the range of motion of your spine, of your spinal muscles. After your last one, stay low and then send your left foot far back behind you and reach your right fingertips forward. And then take your right arm back and around into that half circle move, but we're in a revolved high crescent lunge. So the back knee is lifted up off the ground. Continue to drive the front right knee forward, and if you'd like, you can tip your body back and bring your right hand to either your left calf or your left thigh. Maybe bring your gaze up towards your top hand. This is a little bit of a tricky balance. Keep pressing the hips forward as you lean back into this shape. And then slowly come out of this. Bring your hands back down to the ground. Hands inside of your right foot. Heel toe your right foot a little more out to the right side. And then walk your fingertips way over to the left. So you're kind of finding this counter stretch in your lunge. Think of your hips moving to the right while your fingertips pull to the left. Allow your torso to be nice and heavy. And just breathe here. Fill the space between your shoulder blades with breath. Start to walk your hands back onto your mat, back to center. Step your left foot forward and come into a squat. So your feet will be about mat's width distance. A little turnout with your feet. Bring your hands to heart center. If you can't get your hips all the way down, that's okay. Just bring your hips to your own range of motion and breathe there. Try to stay open through the chest. Bring a little more awareness to the outside edges of both of your feet. Take a few more big breaths here. Allow the space of your lower back to broaden. And bring your hands down, find your forward fold. I'm going to take everything once again, bend through your knees and find your chair pose, the squat shape. Now bring your hands once again to the outsides of your thighs. And we're going to move through this cat-cow in your squat position. So on your exhale, find your deep contraction. And then on your inhale, press your hands to the tops of your thighs and arch through your spine. And we take this 5 times total, so it can feel a little bit challenging because we're maintaining this squat the entire time. Really try to use the strength of your arms to accentuate and bring a little more range of motion into each posture. Move as quickly or slowly as feels good in your body. Feel free to linger in either of these postures if that feels good. And after your final time, come back to your chair pose and send the right leg so it comes back behind you. Reach your left fingertips so they come straight forward, just like we did before. Find that huge half circle so the left arm goes back. And you're in a revolve crescent lunge. Crown of your head is upright. Front left knee is driving forward. Option to stay here or option to start to tip your body back, coming into a reverse revolve high crescent lunge. Your left hand can come to either your bottom calf or your bottom thigh. Keep that nice deep bend through your front left knee. I know this is a little challenging for the balance. And then bring both of your hands down inside of your left foot. Start to heel toe your left foot out to your left side and walk your fingertips over to the right diagonal. So you're in this lunge position and then you're finding a little bit of a counter stretch. Reach with your fingertips to the right as far as you can. Breathe here. And then slowly start to come out of this. So start to walk your hands so they come back to your lunge position. And then from there, step your back right foot up. We're coming back into that squatted position. Heels in, toes slightly out, hands come to heart center. Press your palms together and press your elbows into your knees to encourage your knees so they track right over your toes. Sit up tall, long through the back of your neck, long out of the crown of your head. Find nice big belly breaths here. Create more space into your lower back. Find a little bit of compression into your hip creases. And from this position, we're going to come all the way down to sit. So however you need to bring yourself all the way down to sit. Once you're there, stretch your legs in front of you, reach your arms up overhead, and find a seated forward fold. Release yourself up and over your legs. And find breath here. Take nice big breaths in. And full exhales. Think of the heaviness of your torso. Notice any areas you might be holding on to tension that's not really serving the posture. See if you can try to release that tension. And then slowly roll yourself up to sit. And then however you need to, bring yourself all the way down onto your back. We have a few options for inversions here. Option 1 will be a plow pose. You can lift your hips up off the ground and bring your feet so they come behind your head. Now you can use your hands on your lower back for some support. You could stay here or you could extend your ankles up to the ceiling for a shoulder stand, your choice. Just make sure that your gaze is straight up and you're not turning your neck to one side or the other. I know your breathing and your throat can feel a little constricted here, but just try to focus on your breaths even if they're a little shallower. Maybe you transition from one posture to the other posture if you want to try out that shoulder stand. Maybe try to straighten your legs back behind you in your plow pose. And then slowly roll yourself all the way down. And then from here, we're coming into a fish pose. So you'll bend your elbows, bring your forearms so they're flat, and then drop your head back. Now you can stay with your forearms supporting your head, or if you feel comfortable, you can slide your elbows forward and bring the top of your head down to the ground. This is just one final back bend, a counter stretch to what we just did in our plow pose. Your legs can be long. You can have your knees bent. Maybe you want to bring the bottoms of your feet together and diamond your knees open to the side. Let your heart open up. Let your throat open up. And send your breath into your belly. And we'll slowly start to come out of this. Press into your elbows and your forearms. Bring yourself all the way down onto your back. Stretch your legs long in front of you. Bring your arms to your sides. Your palms are facing up. Allow your eyes to close or find a soft gaze. And start to reconnect with your breath. That same breath that we established at the beginning of the sequence today. And notice the physical movement of your breath. With every exhale, allow yourself to sink a little bit heavier into your mat. Thank you for joining us. And that's your flow.